Hello, everybody. It is your host, Miss Brutally Blunt herself. It feels very unfamiliar, very unreal to be back. I never expected to take this long, and I always praise on how consistent I want to be, or as much as I try to be, and I tend to fall back from that. So for that, I apologize, but all I can do is do my best, and I don't expect anything less or anything more. I've been trying, so I don't know, it feels kind of awkward sitting here again. I feel like I've, in a sense, let myself go. Not in a very bad tone or manner. I just mean it in a way as I've lost track of what truly brings me happiness. And I feel like I'm at the point in time in my life where I just have to stay accountable for what I've tolerated and what I've been dealing with and what I've been going through. In a sense, I enabled certain things that were going on in my life, and it took so much energy and time out of me. And I allowed that. Let me just reconcile and make it very aware, as if I'm aware of the effect and the impact that it's brought upon myself. But it feels so good to be back, and I don't really have an exact topic for today. I just want to pop back up, show my face, let y'all know that I appreciate y'all waiting and being so patient, and I appreciate all the support, and I know that there's a good amount of people in here that understand where I'm at in life and what's going on. So for those who understand, thank you. And for those who don't understand or may not have a sense of what is going on, there is just, I don't even want to get into it. I've literally started this over 5 times. That's exaggeration. I've started this over 2 to 3 times because I don't even know what to say. I don't even know how to start. Cause I don't even have a plan. I was just you know what? Today is podcast drop day. I might as well just record. I'd say Saturdays are normally my record days, and then I get it all set up so Sunday it just automatically posts. Obviously, I've been very behind. I think it's been about a month. I don't know. It feels like so much longer. If it hasn't been that long, I'm exaggerating. I'm doing too much. Call it what you want. Call it how you see it. But for me, it feels like forever. And it's gonna give me a little bit to get comfortable. It's not like I'm uncomfortable. It's just more as it was such a routine, and I let go of it, and I created it to make it a part of my life and a habit in a sense. So it easily broke, but I'm trying to even mend it even stronger than it was before. Because I sort of have more time on my hands. I will be able to prioritize more of my sources of happiness. I don't really have, like I said, I haven't really executed a topic, a plan, topic discussions, reflections. I don't know. I just thought the best time is now. I'm feeling a lot better. The past few days, I haven't been feeling the best. Just tired, exhaustion, just being I don't know, I think it could just catch up to you after a while, if you just be going, and even when you rest, if you don't get enough, it's just boom. So I haven't been physically and energetically, I haven't been feeling the best. I know that I typically update, if I know I'm not gonna post, I typically update and post on my Instagram and stuff about it. So my bad, my sincerest apologies, my dearest apologies about that, cause when regardless if I'm posting or not, I typically let y'all know on IG and stuff, or at least shout it out or put it out there hey, sorry. The last time I posted about not posting, I think that was Father's Day. And yeah. So other than that, I hope everybody's enjoying living their life. I hope summer is bringing you nothing but fun, good vibes, hanging out with your friends, doing stuff for yourself, going to the beach, reading a book, drinking your favorite coffee, whatever grinds your gears, whatever makes you feel like life is worth living. I hope y'all are able to obtain those things. And it's the little things too. I don't know, it's just the little things in life that can make such an impact, seeing my dog getting a good drink. I don't know, I really should have more of a plan. It's just really another yap for real. I hope, I'm manifesting and I'm hoping, and I have faith in myself that for next episode, I'll actually have an executed decision and plan on what I'm gonna speak about. I was gonna I just want to make it very clear. I just want to make it very known that I took time away because I needed to regain my energy, my personal experiences, my knowledge, and I needed to figure a few things out, one more than others. I had to come to a lot of realizations, and I've mentioned plenty of times in episodes and conversation, in public, at work, I have a very toxic tendency of practicing what I do not preach myself. So I felt some sense of a hypocrite of always being on my pod and in my episodes saying like, know your worth and realize your value and act on that. And like, if something's not serving you, like, don't put your like effort or energy into that. And it's like, well, damn, girl, are you gonna take your own advice or what? Is this episode just gonna be most me roasting myself? Most likely, because like I'm just gonna bring the funny out of the situation. I'm just gonna shed light on the darkness. Like, I got secondhand embarrassment for myself. Like, I've experienced so many things when it comes to like friendships, relationships, family, like people you work with. Like, I've learned so much, and from the things that I've learned, apparently I had to relearn them again. Because like, it's just, I don't even want to be negative. Like, I always try to have a positive outlook and like outreach on things, but you could just from my experience as of late, you can just feel the fact that like, regardless of what you do for somebody or how much of what you do, it could never amount, like it can like, and I don't even get me started. I'm getting myself started. I'm getting myself out, because I'm always the type of person, it's like, I don't like when people do stuff for me and then they turn around and throw it in my face. Or they're like, oh, I did that for you, so like you owe me. Or I do that for you, so like, yeah, like you owe me. Like, it's transactional, or like I should have some sort of sympathy, or I feel like I have to keep you in my life because you did something for me, or you bought something for me, or the time in need you were there for me. Like, I'm always the type of person where I don't like that. I don't like it being done towards me, so I'm not going to do it to other people. But I've just learned that like, it's not okay to, but you can prioritize somebody and their needs first, and it could still blow up in your face. I genuinely thought that, not everything, because I'm not perfect. I make a lot of mistakes. I lose my temper. I can sometimes talk a little out of character, get out of my, adult, I can crash out. Like, it is what it is. Like, I feel like almost everybody has the ability to crash out, especially when enough is enough. And when you take and take, and all you're doing is giving and giving and giving, yeah. Sometimes those podcast episodes, I was talking about myself. But I don't want y'all to end up like me. I want y'all to learn from me and know better and do better. Like, I want y'all to realize that, like, when I get more deep into it, because it's too soon for all that, I gotta make sure, like, I'm in the clear. I need to make sure I'm in the clear before I be, like, putting more out there. But long story short, I'm dealing with a relationship. I'm dealing with a breakup. It's very confusing. That's like the best word I can pick out for like my relationship / the breakup I'm going through. It's very confusing. It's like my sister says, for example, like, it's very like tug of war. There's a song that I like, and I took a screenshot of the lyrics. It's by Foggy Raw. If you don't know who that is, lock the in. He makes music, but he's like a poet for real. Ooh, he's so fire. Foggy Raw. He genuinely develops poetry throughout his music. But it's a lyric that I screenshot. It's like, is love a competitive sport, a tit for tat? Because that's what it was giving. Like, the relationship I was in, it was giving like, oh, you do something, so I'm gonna do it right back to you so you can know exactly how it feels. And it's like, nah, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. That's like very immature. It's giving like, you wanna like inflict that feeling, like, not even pain. Like, that's not even, you know what? Like, when like love is supposed to be natural, it's supposed to be effortless. Like, obviously love, it can be like hard work. It's not gonna be easy. Of course, there's a honeymoon stage, and like, where things are mad sweet, and then it can get sour. But it should never come to a point where it's like you're second guessing your worth, or you believe that like you shouldn't, like, when you know something is wrong, just believe it. If somebody like, and my own friends will tell me that, and I'll tell my friends that too. Like, for example, if one of my friends was in the situation I was in, and they were telling me and letting me know what was going on, my first thought would be like, don't deal with that. You deserve better. If they don't think it's worth like working on themselves or being better or doing better in regards for themselves and for you and for the relationship in a whole, then what are you doing? Because love, I feel like, like, that's the thing. Like, I was so I love deeply, I love thoroughly, I love intentionally, I love unconditionally, like, I love in as much as I can. Like, I'll love to the point where it takes so much out of me and I have nothing left. And that's something I gotta work on. Like, that's how I know I shouldn't be in a relationship, and I knew that in the beginning. I was just like, "Damn, like, this seems like he's like, seems like this is real, like, this is my person." Boy, was I wrong, because I just feel like your person would never make you, like, feel less than, or would never like talk to you in a manner of like, this doesn't feel good. Like, for example, like I would get texts or calls, or I would hear like this a similar text tone, and I'd like pop my phone. Like, I would look immediately at my phone. Like, my friend's phone will go off and I'd be like, "Oh, is that you?" Cause like, and I shoulda, and that's the thing about me is like, I like to get people that love and care about me and I know I can like vent to and be vulnerable with. I always try to get their advice and their perspective. And I know that can come off as messy, and like when you're in a relationship and you involve other people that love and care about you, like it can change their view and their effect on your relationship or that person that you're with in that said relationship. And I respect and I understand that, but I'm never going to allow other people's like opinions to affect what I got going on with somebody. And I'm very big on that. Like, somebody could say like the realest shit about somebody, and if I love them, then I'll just you got to see it yourself to in order to believe it, cuz people could just tell you, but you ain't gonna realize it until you see it for yourself, and it can take a while. And, I just gotta thank the support I have and the people who stuck it out strong with me and, like, still proceed to make sure I'm good and straight, regardless of what my decision or the choices I've made, like, is genuinely appreciated. And for the ones that, like, it wasn't intentional, but I have made a lot of changes. Like, when I say I lost like, I was avoiding my sources of happiness for the sake of somebody else, I truly mean that. And it wasn't like, for example, like, I would choose to stay at my crib, or I would choose to be with my significant other instead of like going out and having fun with my friends. And moral of my point is that, like, you need to, if you're getting in a relationship with somebody, you need to make it very clear about like what your wants and your needs are, and you need to hold them accountable to those things as well. One thing about me is like, I'm very accepting of people making mistakes, and I will allow you to make the same mistake over and over until I've had enough, right? And it can get dangerous like that, because then you start to build up resentment. Like, one thing that I regret throughout this whole process, I'd say, is not being so quick to correct a certain behavior, because I was just like, they're just having a bad day. It's like, no, shorty bae. Like, if somebody really loves you, they could be having the worst day of their lives and they'll still love you, and they'll still treat you with love and cater to you with love. And that's the thing about me is like, the worst part of this whole thing for me is that I don't hold a lot of, and it's self-inflicting on myself, because I don't hold very high standards or expectations. All I expect from somebody I choose to be with is to love me, like, love me out loud, and love me like through and through. Love me for me, and just treat me like a little baby, and like do things that make me fucking feel good. Like, is it really that hard to just like send me $20? Like, it's not even about the money for real. It's just like, if you know my back hurts, give me a back massage. If I say I'm tired, then maybe just like put like a movie on and like lay down with me. Not like, I'm trying to sleep and like keep waking me up and being loud as like, it's just like the lack of common sense and consideration. I just feel like I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, like, I'm not perfect, and I'm very aware, like, I'm very accountable of the mistakes I've made and like where I went wrong. And I may not see all my wrongs. Let me tell you, like, I may not want to see all my wrongs, but I know for a fact that I did the best I could. I loved as much as I could. And I'm not a quitter. One thing about me, I'm not a quitter. Like, especially when I love something or somebody, and when I care about something and somebody, I don't give up on it. See, I sound like a hypocrite because I gave up on this for a little bit, but I did it for the right reasons. I need to collect myself, I needed to figure stuff out. I needed to make sure that what I was doing at the moment was right for me, and that whoever was around me was right for me as well. And since I'm such an empath And not to put too much dip on my chip, but I've been told like many times I'm a bright light. And you know, when people see a source of bright light, they cling to it like a moth, like a metaphor, right? Just hear me out, right? Like when you see a bright light, like you immediately want to like, it's bright. Like you want to go to it. Like there's people that are bright and there's people that are dark, right? But I've been told plenty of times, like growing up, my mom said, oh, you're a bright light, like people are going to try to dim you, or people will like cling to you because you're so bright, but then it may or may not have an effect on you because they're so dark and they're clinging to your light that you're like taking in the darkness, or they're like soaking up their light, like your light for themselves, and then you're losing. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is don't let anybody like steal your shine. Like shine bright like a diamond in the wise words of Rihanna. Kiss your forehead. But yeah, I really didn't want to like, but it's just like, it's my it's my platform. It's my program. I can do what I want. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just speaking from the heart. And clearly like the person that should be listening to this ain't gonna listen to it, or don't care, don't give. So I guess y'all gonna have to listen to it. But honestly, I just really think that our generation and like social media, like just the stigma, just the way everything is, it's like, just live your life. I wanted to settle down and I like date to marry, right? And that's very like crazy to say, but that's how I feel, especially at my age of 23. I'm finna turn 24. Like my dream is to have like my own house with like a backyard, fenced in yard, slider door, basement, like you name it. Like my dream is to have my house, have my significant other, be married. Like I sound like a little kid, and people will be like, save that for Disney. Matter of fact, I was live. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. Like, yeah. I was live, not on my Twitch account, and I was saying like I love those Disney movies. Like that's my dream, is to like, like not a fairy tale, not everything perfect. Like look at the economy. Like look how life really is. Look at life versus reality, right? I mean, look at like movies and TV shows versus reality, right? So boom, I get that. And it gives like very kid vibes, but I don't even mean it like that. Like my dream is to just have my person, have my family, and have a place that I can call home and know that nobody can ever take from me, you know? And, I may not have like, and that's the thing, like I have that already. But I'm just so set on like, I want my own, but it's like, I have my own. I have my dog, I have my cat, I have my fish, I got my mom's. So like, I got my cousins, I got my friends, I got my siblings. Like, I already have a family. It may not be exactly where I want or how I want it to be, but I already have that. So why am I chasing a dream that it ain't, clearly it ain't meant for me? Like I want to say this is necessarily my dream, but my dream is to like be a support system, or like a positive outlook on life. Like I just want to reach many people and let them know that like this is our lives, we gotta live them, we gotta appreciate the fact that we're here, because there's many people that wish that they had what we had. Like I be struggling, I be getting too hard on myself about what I do and don't have, and like if I didn't have this then I would have that, or if I went back and did this instead of that, I would be here instead of there. And it's like, stop tripping. Like stop bugging about that shit. Like you can only control what's in your control. And that's something that I struggle with to this day. Like I'll get on it. I'll be good about it, right? And then I'll fall right back into it. I'm a big overthinker, big stressor, and it's like, girl, like just smoke a blunt. Like just relax, bro. Like hop on the game. But I just feel like life is too serious. Life gets so serious. And like what really made me realize like how things should be and what they shouldn't be is just like, you shouldn't have to question someone's love for you. You shouldn't have to question people's intentions for you, or if their love is genuine, or if they say they love you and they act a completely different way. Like there's a few quotes I've seen on TikTok, and I know like I be talking about social media and the effect it has on relationships and blah, blah, blah. But one thing about me, if I see something I can relate to, baby, I'm saving that. I'm saving that to my camera roll. I'm saving that to my favorites on TikTok. I'm saving it to my favorites on Instagram. But I love having two Instagrams because on one Instagram, I have a clean start where everything I save, I can go through it and not get like overstimulated or overwhelmed by like shit from 4 years ago. And like it's like a fresh start on Instagram versus my personal Instagram that I've had for a while. It's like I have so much shit from years ago that it's like if I go through that shit, I might have to relive some of the moments I had, and I don't want to do that. But I really need to lock in, like not even just like financially and like work, and like I decided I'm taking more time away from school. Okay. I need more of a break. I need to figure my life out. I need to get my license. I'm scared. If anybody wants to teach me how to parallel park, let me know. I'm terrified because I know that they'll fail you if you don't know how to parallel park. And I'm good. I feel like I'm good with everything besides parallel parking and the freaking hand signals, okay? But I feel like the hand signals are a little bit easier to remember and know rather than how to parallel park a car, right? I don't know. Anyways, I need to lock in. I need to figure more of my life out because if I have my license, then I'll be able to do whatever I want. And it'll be less of a stress because, like, I can just drive to work, drive home, drive to my other job. I won't have to worry about rides, Ubers, none of that. Yeah, that's another thing. If you're in a relationship and if you still got to do all this extra shit that you was doing before that relationship, why are you in a relationship? Like, bro, like, I'm not even trying to say, like, put the burden, like, nah, that's the thing. When you're in a relationship, it should never be a burden for someone, like, for that person to help you out or just take a little bit off your plate. Take a light off your load, right? I feel like I have to sneeze, my bad. But I really need to lock in for real. I'm like jumping from like 17 different thoughts just because it's like, yo, I really need to lock in. Like, I need to get my life together, bro, but it's just so complicated. I'm gonna lock back in. I got my nails done. These are the nails, okay? This is the nails, right? These are my natural nails. I used to do Gel X, which is like a glorified press-on. That's when I would get like the almond shape and the crazy designs. That was Gel X. But I switched to natural. This is like gel overlay. So it's like it looks like it looks like gel polish, but it's clear. But it forms like over your natural nail. So they feel fake. It's like a dip, but it's gel instead of like a powder. If that makes sense. But yeah, these are my natural nails. They're pretty long. I feel like these nails are longer than these ones. But this is the idea I saw on Pinterest. The pink was like more clear, like more of a natural base, but it's okay. They still look good. They make me look darker. And hey, I love pink, so. And it's 2 different shades, so. I'm getting kind of sleepy, chat. Let me start fresh, okay? So Thursday, I had my morning job, and then I felt like crap after I went to urgent care. Yada, yada, yada. I came home, I tried to get some rest, took some meds, and, like, try to, like, watch a movie, eat some, like, good food that won't make me feel bad. And then I didn't go to my second job. And then Friday, I still felt disgusting. Like, my head was pounding. It felt like I was hungover, or, like, it felt like terrible things were happening to my brain. Like, genuinely, my head felt so, like, full of air and, like, heavy, and it was pounding. Like, felt like there was a heartbeat in my brain. It hurt so bad. So it was like a migraine, I guess you could say, but like the migraines I be having, I don't know if it could compare to that. It literally felt like my head was finna explode. If I'm being real with you. So yeah, Thursday, Friday, I was really sick. I did not feel good. And it wasn't like I was sick, like I'm gonna throw up or like runny nose or like cough. It was just like I literally felt like I wasn't physically able to perform at my job. Okay, so Thursday, Friday, I was off. I practically slept on and off the whole day, the whole 2 days. And then yesterday, I felt somewhat better, and as the day went on, I felt better and better. I just ran errands with my mom, got some fresh air, chilled at my house, played Fortnite, because I forgot that Fortnite, you don't have to have the PlayStation subscription. I keep forgetting, but my coworkers at my morning job remind me of that. So ever since they reminded me, I've been like so hyped to play, and then I think, yeah, yesterday I played Fort because I finally felt a little bit better. But yeah, this is what I did with my hair. I got my little edges on the side, little pony with my curls, you feel me? Little slick back with no gel. I just got gel on my edges so they don't move. See? And then my sister does my lashes. I actually really need a fill really bad. I was trying to go to over her house yesterday, but it was kind of late because she lives like a little bit less than an hour away. And then I was gonna try to come see her today, but I just had such a late start to my day. Like, I wasn't ready for the day to begin till like 11:30. And that's very unlikely of me. Normally, I'm like up, like, if like the earliest 6:37 if I'm not already working at early in the morning. But yeah, I've just not been like on my like I've been steady lacking, but I feel like the rest that I've gotten is the rest that I very much needed. But unfortunately, I feel like I need more. Like I haven't had enough. I'm jumping around from a lot of subjects here. I really don't know what to talk about. I was thinking of like going over some quotes or like pictures or like things I find and I save through my phone, but I feel like I did that. I want to do something a little different. I have a book that my mom got me for Easter. It's like an anxiety book, and I kind of wanted to go through it and like, I don't know. It's called Find Your Calm. I feel like I really wanted to go through this. Isn't she so pretty? She's lavender. Thanks, mommy. I kind of want to go through this because I just feel like it will give me like something better to do than just yap. It's a workbook to manage anxiety. So I think I'm just gonna, yeah, there's an introduction. I think I'm just gonna read it, because it's for me. And if y'all feel like listening, listen. I also have music in the playing in the background. I bought myself an Alexa. I'm so happy. I love her. I had a speaker already, but it was just really old. And it was just like kind of irritating me. So I was like, you know what? Time for a new one. So if you hear anything in the background, that's why. I'm gonna read the introduction in the Find Your Calm anxiety relief book that my mom got me. So here we go. We've all been there many times, stuck in our own heads. The truth is, many of us feel comfortable in that state. It feels safe and familiar. However, if you really pause to notice how much time you spent wrapped up in your thoughts, you'll begin to see how often you are disconnected from the present moment. It is this avoidance of uncomfortable thoughts and feelings that keep us stuck inside our head. The longer we hang out in there, the worse our stress and anxiety can become. Why, then, do we choose to spend so much time in our head if it's detrimental to our mental wellness? The answer is simple. Sometimes facing our thoughts and feelings in the present just hurts too much. Facts. Okay. Helping people redirect away from their minds and into the present moment is the foundation of the work I do in my practice. When I ask patients what their goals are for therapy, the most common responses I get are, I want to feel happier, or I don't want to ever feel anxious. However, these type of goals make their progress more difficult. You're probably asking yourself, why would wanting to feel happier be a bad goal? Don't we all just want to be happy? In a perfect world, yes, we may choose to be happy all the time. The problem is that no one's world is perfect. We will undoubtedly have a wide range of experiences and emotions throughout our lives. Having mood-based goals sets us up for failure. Why? Because moods are fluid. Trying to have a permanent mood of any kind is impossible. Think of happiness as a target you're trying to hit, but one that's constantly moving. You can only push away or avoid painful thoughts and feelings for so long. After a while, trying to hit the bullseye would become frustrating. You would likely start to feel defeated, angry, or worried. Furthermore, the frustration might lead you to think you are incapable of being happy no matter what you do, creating feelings of hopelessness, helplessness, and a sense of being out of control. It can put you at a much higher risk for anxiety disorders, depression, and an overall decline in mental well-being. Part of the human experience is feeling all of our feelings, yes, even the bad ones. And despite popular opinion, it's okay to not be okay. We can't control what emotions or thoughts come up for us in any given moment. What we can control, however, is how we choose to respond to our emotions, to our thoughts, and to other people. See, that was very educating for myself, and that's practically what I try to elevate in my words, explaining like my struggles with anxiety or how other people may struggle with anxiety. Like, believe it or not, a lot of people deal with anxiety and stuff more than you would ever realize. And it's very, like, stigmatized to, like, for gender roles too, that, like, men aren't allowed to, like, feel those ways and just always, like, be rough and rugged. And it's like, no, like, you're allowed to feel that way, although there's always an approach to how you express those things, because that's something that I was dealing with, is like, I'm so accepting of people's struggles and what they deal with and like how they react about it or towards it, that I'm just so forgiving because I've made those same mistakes as well. And it's like, regardless of what you went through before, or regardless of what you've done personally before, it doesn't make it fair or doesn't justify how it makes you feel and how it impacts you negatively. And I realized that the hard way. I thought that tolerating it, accepting it, and dealing with it was making the love stronger and making our relationship stronger. When in reality, it was just allowing the other person to think that that type of behavior was accepted and allowed, and leaving me feeling somewhat empty and like numb, because I was just like, wow, like I've really did almost everything I could for this person and almost more. And it's just like they still give me reasons to believe that I'm not doing enough, or I'm not good enough, or I will never be good enough, or I'm not worth it. I'm not worth change. I'm not worth patience. I'm not worth like putting your pride and ego to the side and what you've dealt with prior before me. Just insane. And that's like the biggest role of my anxiety right now, is learning detachment and unlearning toxic behaviors and patterns and reactions And, because dealing with this has caused me to unheal parts of myself that were in the process of healing before this relationship became a relationship. I feel awkward. I'm gonna pull you guys down a little bit. But yeah, so I have like a desk in here set up, and I was gonna get rid of it because it wasn't for me initially, but I don't know. I think I'm just gonna use it to like record and color if I wanted to like write or fill this out or journal, do my makeup, whatever. I've been thinking about like getting a mirror up here. I don't know. And once I go back to school, I'll definitely use this to like study and stuff, but we don't know when that's going to be. But, anyways, back to the story. What is anxiety? I'm so anxious. We've all said and heard this phrase countless times. But are we anxious or stressed? It's important to understand the difference between these two concepts. Stress is a normal response to situations and events in our everyday lives. Work, family, finances, and relationships all contribute to the stress we feel on a daily basis. The less control we feel over a particular situation, the more likely we are to feel stress. Believe it or not, though, our bodies are well equipped to deal with stressful events. We have a built-in response system known as fight or flight. When our brain thinks we are in danger, it triggers our flight or flight response so we can effectively manage the dangerous situation. And while these physical symptoms may feel bad, examples, racing heart, shortness of breath, sweating, they are no way dangerous. In fact, they are extremely beneficial. They inform us about our surroundings and help to keep us safe. However, prolonged stress responses that are left untreated can have a major impact on our bodies over time. Heart disease, chronic pain, insomnia, and a weakened immune system can be chronic effects of long-term stress. So if that's stress, then what exactly is anxiety? Anxiety can be characterized by intense feelings of nervousness, extreme worry, intrusive thoughts, and physical symptoms such as dizziness, shakiness, sweating, or increased heart rate. People will often, very understandably, avoid situations that bring about these feelings. Continuous avoidance, though, can significantly interfere with one's day-to-day functioning. It is important for us to remember that anxiety is a naturally occurring human emotion. For this reason, there's no way to avoid it completely. Sorry, I'm flipping the page. In fact, it's necessary for our survival and protection. It's what makes us think to look both ways before crossing the street. It's what tells us to run fast if we are being chased by a robber. In moderate amounts, anxiety motivates us to achieve our goals. It pushes us to do well in school, in sports, and at work. If anxiety can be beneficial, then why does it feel so bad? To start, human beings are wired for survival and contentment, not a permanent state of happiness. Yet, as a society, we have this notion that we must always strive for perfect happiness. So, when we feel anything other than happy, we interpret that feeling as bad and something to get rid of immediately. What happens, though, when our not so happy emotion is the proper emotional response to a situation? For example, if you lost your job, it would be an extremely appropriate response to be sad. But because we are so focused on achieving this goal of happiness, we try hard to avoid any emotion that contradicts it. This is why phrases such as "it could be worse" or "positive vibes only" can be so invalidating. It's something known as toxic positivity. Toxic positivity is the idea that we should always be happy regardless of the situation, that feeling appropriately sad or anxious is somehow bad. However, trying to avoid uncomfortable feelings creates a more intense version of the emotions we are trying so hard to squash. So, some anxiety is normal, and it can be counterproductive to try to get rid of it entirely. But when anxiety becomes constant and consists of irrational worry that won't turn off, when it begins to cause significant problems in your life, for example, avoiding people, places, and things that pose no real danger, that's when it may really require attention. If you've been feeling this way, you may have a clinical anxiety disorder. Anxiety is the most common mental health diagnosis in the United States, affecting approximately 40 million adults annually, almost 18% of the population. And while anxiety disorders are very treatable, only about 35% of people suffering from clinical anxiety receive any type of treatment. Clinical anxiety can present itself in a variety of ways, including social anxiety disorder, SAD, obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD, generalized anxiety disorder, GAD, and panic disorder. Whether or not your experience of anxiety reaches the level of a clinical anxiety disorder, this workbook can help. It will teach you various techniques to help you sit with your anxiety and stress rather than trying to get rid of them. To manage day-to-day stress. Just learning how to better manage this everyday stress can help you remain present, focus longer, increase productivity, and lead to an overall improvement in relationships and mental well-being. Better daily stress management also puts you at a lower risk of developing a clinical anxiety or mood disorder. To understand our anxiety, we need to break it down into 4 fundamental components: our emotions, our body, our thoughts, and our behaviors. Our emotions consist of all the feelings that come up for us in any given situation, such as anger, worry, guilt, or sadness. Our body represents the actual physical sensations we experience when we are anxious. For example, racing heartbeat, shallow breathing, upset stomach, and a headache. It also includes psychological changes such as increases in a stress hormone called cortisol. The third component of anxiety is our thought process, better known as cognition. This includes the thoughts we have about ourselves, others, and our relationship to the outside world. Some examples of anxious thought processes include: everyone will laugh at me. What if my headache isn't just a headache? Or what if no one likes my business proposal and it gets rejected? Lastly, we have our behaviors, or what we actually do in response to our anxiety. These behaviors can include anything from eating too much to social isolation. For example, you decide to stay home alone rather than attend a friend's birthday party because you're too anxious to go. Or you have a work presentation in the morning and public speaking makes you horrifically anxious. Excuse me. I got a little stuck on that word. You wake up the next day, call in sick, and ask your assistant to do the presentation on your behalf. Being able to break down anxiety into individual parts makes it not only easier to identify, but also easier to treat. It informs us of our triggers, a negative thought, racing heart, or losing a job, so that we know what to specifically target. It also allows us to view our anxiety more objectively. By identifying that we are thinking and feeling, we create space between us and our symptoms. Wow, I was not expecting to get into this so deep, but we have one more section left and then to read, and then the rest is like the workbook. The role of avoidance in anxiety. People naturally function better when they behave in ways consistent with their values. When our behaviors are not in line with our values, our risk of stress, anxiety, and even depression increases. Why then will we purposely behave in direct opposition to the things we value most? Avoidance. We want to avoid our bad emotions and negative thinking. We focus so hard on achieving a state of happiness that we struggle furiously against anything that threatens it and do whatever we can to not feel bad. Yet, in our effort to get rid of that internal ickiness, we make it worse. For example, let's say you value being a responsible employee. It would make perfect sense that behaviors such as meeting deadlines, being on time, and working hard would all increase your self-esteem, confidence, and overall mood. Your behaviors are moving you toward your identified value of being a good employee. What if, however, work has really been stressing you out lately? To avoid your work stress, you start calling out sick, missing meetings, and working less hard because it's just too overwhelming. But this behavior has now resulted in a poor performance review and a lost promotion. While your efforts to get rid of your work stress may have initially provided temporary relief, they ultimately took you further away from what is most important to you. By avoiding what feels bad, we continue to create more of what we don't want. We also internalize the message that we are incapable of handling difficult emotions. Take drinking alcohol as another example. Many people find socializing in large groups to be extremely anxiety-provoking. They fear judgment by others, may feel stupid when in conversations, or sense that they just don't fit in. The unwillingness to sit with those uncomfortable thoughts and feelings while mingling at a party is a big reason why people drink alcohol in these settings. Alcohol temporarily mutes their anxiety. While this suppression might help at first, the relief is short-lived, and the person's belief that they need alcohol to be social is reinforced. It becomes a vicious cycle. I've spoken about that a few times, and I will continue to speak about it even more. Okay. We frequently see this unwillingness to tolerate discomfort in people with perfectionist tendencies. Those who identify as perfectionists have intense fear of failure. That's me. The anxiety they experience when faced with a performance-based task can be debilitating. To avoid this pain, they procrastinate. They may focus so intently on the tiny details that they lose sight of the larger task and either don't complete it or complete it late, or they simply never start it at all. You can't fail if you never finish. Both behaviors may initially reduce anxiety, but they are only short-term fixes. By procrastinating, they fail anyway, thereby confirming their initial fear. Chances are, those with perfectionist tendencies value being a good student or employee, yet their behavior, for example, procrastination, takes them further away from this value, making their anxiety even worse. So, if it's unhealthy to avoid your anxious thoughts and feelings, then what do? You sit with them, you tolerate them, you observe without judgment, whatever comes up for you in the moment, and then you let it pass. You feel the uncomfortable feelings, have the worrisome thoughts, and at the exact same time, move toward what is making you anxious. In other words, feel bad and do it anyway. It provides you the opportunity to see that nothing bad happens, an experience that you otherwise would have deprived yourself of. Changing, modifying, or eliminating behaviors that are unhealthy, avoidant, or no longer work for you allows you to live a more fulfilled life with less risk of anxiety, mood disorders, and relationship difficulties. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. So that's the end of that, okay? And we're doing so good. I'm almost at an hour, and that's exactly what I want. An hour, a little bit over. So let's unpack that a little bit. It was a lot to take in. I caught myself getting a little choked up. Not like by tears or emotions or nothing. Not like that, not like that. But in a sense of like, I was reading. I was so dedicated to finishing it, and I'm thirsty as hell, so give me a second. Please and thank you. It's so refreshing. I love like getting a bottle of soda and then putting it in a Stanley with ice. It just tastes so good. Anyways, getting a little sleepy here, chat. I said I was gonna unpack that. So that was a lot to take in. It was a lot for me. I got very parched. It made me think about many things because, I do, as I said earlier, as I will say until I cannot speak no more, no longer. I do have a very anxious attachment to my own lifestyle. Like anything can go wrong. I'm anxious. Somebody has a different tone. I'm anxious. Somebody looks at me the wrong way. I'm anxious. Somebody walks in. Like, I got so much anxiety to the point where I let it ridicule me. Like I let it break me down into to the last of me. And that's one of my fears is allowing my anxiety to, like I make anxiety based decisions, right? Like I act on impulse. When they brought up the alcohol, like the example of like the alcohol in a social setting, because it like relieves the anxiety feeling, I totally get that. Drinking alcohol was a very unhealthy coping mechanism for my anxiety, for my intrusive thoughts, for my depression without knowing that it actually made my depression even worse at one point. I would just wake up the next day and like feel even worse than I did like inside, like overall mental well-being. And when you start depending on certain things to make you feel better, it's actually making it worse because then you start depending on it and you start to value it and it becomes a part of your routine, your habit, your day-to-day life. And that's something that I always start off saying the same thing. But drinking alcohol has been a struggle and being in control of it has been a struggle. But I'm gonna give myself a pat on the back and I'm gonna give myself some grace and give myself my flowers because I went out this past weekend with my friends and not this weekend, the weekend before. And I had so much fun. They kept reminding me to just live in the moment and to just, be present with us. And the last time I went out with them, like as a group, was Halloween, which to me was a while ago, like almost about a year ago. So, and it was for my girl's birthday. They both share a birthday right next to each other. And we do it practically almost every year to celebrate for them. And I was really happy to be included. Obviously, they never are the type to exclude me out of everything. Even if I don't respond or if they don't hear from me, they still include me. And that's why they are so dear to my heart because regardless if I barely speak to them, if I go ghost, if something's taking most of my time or I just don't go out or if I don't stay consistent, like they always make effort to be like, yo, bitch, we're friends, like lock in. And I love that. And those are the type of friends you need in your life that just accept you for you and don't make you feel less than for how how you react to things or how you move. Because one thing about me, I'm always very like, well, I'm not doing okay, so let me take a big step back. And obviously, there's certain things like responsibilities and priorities that I'm not able to take a step back from. And that's like the most overwhelming part for me is like, if I wanted to like just take a week off from work or go on vacation, like, I feel like I can't even do that for myself because it would just put myself in a worse predicament. Like, I worry about money and being financially stable and have enough money and not make enough money and need to make more money. But then if I was to like take a mental health week, or if I was to just take like 2 or 3 shifts off, or like 2 days off, to me, I'd be missing out on so much more for the money wise of it, right? But I really think that I want to get my license. Like, my next biggest thing is my license before I decide to do any big purchases or anything close to the sort. But I really want to go on vacation. I feel like, and not just to like Maine or like somewhere I've been before, because I have somewhere I can go to Maine where I don't have to get like a B&B or like a hotel. Although there's no service up there, which kind of stinks. So, I mean, I make the best out of it. Like, we play board games, we take nature walks, we go to like the water, the lake or whatever. Like, we make the best out of it, and we go to town to like grab groceries and stuff, like if not every day, every 2 days. But it's just like, damn, bro, like I want to go somewhere where it's like I got service and Wi-Fi, you feel me? So I can post where I'm at. But I love Maine. It's actually really relaxing, and it's been in my family for generations. Why do I feel like I'm losing my voice? Excuse me. Goodness gosh. Goodness gracious. But no, I loved going to Maine because, like, it's somewhere where I don't gotta rent it out, don't gotta pay for it. And, it's been in my family for generations. I've been going there since I was a kid, since I could, like, even go up there. Like, I have a lot of memories that are like trauma blocked, but memories I will never forget, God given, is being in Maine with my family. It's really nice to be up there, and my animals love it. I just don't bring my cat. That's the only sad thing about it. So I don't bring my cat because, like I said, it's been in my family for generations, and it's like it's not modernized. And I just feel like there's like there's bears and deer, like there's mad wildlife out there where we be going, like that. Maine is like known for that type of wildlife shit, but where we at, there's like no service. There's like moose, there's fucking bears. Like, I'm scared my cat's gonna like slip out of like a hole or something, or something's gonna break in and try to take my cat. Like, no, I'm all setty spaghetti with that. I love my cat. What if he just like sneaks outside and like I never see him again? There's like foxes, and I don't even wanna think about it. But whenever we go to Maine, we leave my cat here and we just ask somebody to like feed him and stuff for us. But yeah, I like actually want to go on a vacation. I want to go to Puerto Rico. I want to go to Florida. I want to go on a plane. Like, I finally have my like mass ID, like the official one. And then obviously would need like a passport to go to like anywhere else I want to go to. I don't know, Puerto Rico, I don't need a passport because it's part of the US. I know that. So like, here's the thing. Since I've never been on a plane, right? For my first trip, if I decide to take a plane for my first trip, I want to go somewhere where it's not that too long of a plane ride. So probably like Florida, Puerto Rico. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. But like the shortest like distance possible on a plane, that's what I would do first. And then for my second one, I would probably do New Orleans, because that's like, I would do it for my number one, but I'm terrified. I'm terrified, right? But I really want to go to New Orleans. It's something like New Orleans has just so much, what's the word I'm looking for? Like relevance. Like, I resonate with New Orleans so much. Like, I love the history, like the supernatural and like the spirit part of it, and the music, the culture, the food. Like, it's very like colorful, and people are always like outside, like, and my favorite movie is The Princess and the Frog. That's my favorite movie. Like, that's one of the reasons I want to have my own family and be married so bad, because just know my wedding's gonna be Princess and the Frog themed. The fuck you thought? And even if I elope, or even if it's a small ass like a little reception, bitch, it's gonna be Princess and the Frog theme. And if I ever have a baby shower, God given, if I ever get pregnant and have a baby shower, it's gonna be Princess and the Frog theme. Stop fucking playing with me. Like, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like it was partially a yap versus like mixed with a little like anxiety relief workbook shit. So I'm hype. As time goes on, as pods get dropped, I will release more information, and I'm hoping to like actually get a co-host on here. It just like, since I'm so inconsistent, it just seems like unrealistic for me to put a co-host when I'm inconsistent myself. Like, the own host can't even run her own shit, let alone add a co-host, you feel me? But nah, I'm gonna lock in for real, I'm gonna try to get my ish together, because maybe it's out of spite, call it what you want. I want to get in Streamer University now. Stop playing it. I want to meet Kai Cenat, Duke Dentist. You know who I really want to meet though? Yana J. oh, she's so cute and like pure and innocent and like I don't mean innocent in a weird way, but she's so pure and like she just gives like she truly lives for herself, thankfully, but she truly lives in like the passion of like let me make somebody's day. Let me compliment somebody. Let me make them smile. Let me make them feel accepted, valued, appreciated, heard, seen, respected even. And she's like, for me, she's an inspiration. Like, she gives me motivation to keep going and not give up on this. She's my Kai Cenat. She's my, who, I can't think of anybody else. Excuse my dog in the background. Please excuse my dog in the background. But I just want to make it very clear. I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. Every single one of you. And thank you for being so patient. And I hope you can understand where I'm coming from. Much love to everybody. Stay safe out there. Anything can happen. I wish the best for everybody as always. If you ever, have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, feel free to like inbox me or DM me rather on any platform that I have for the pod specifically, or just leave them in the comments down below. Please, if you have any ideas, if you want to do like a Q&A, if you are interested in like a get ready with me type video pod, let me know. And if you have any like certain topics that you like me to like speak upon, whether it's like I do research, feel free, because I'm just trying to get more of a repetition and do more with this. I don't want it to just be about like, obviously I have a purpose for what I'm trying to do with the pod, but what I'm saying is I don't want it to be flat out just that. I want to have more going on. I actually need to start getting my ish together and getting my life together. So I am going to try to like make a schedule of being consistent, making sure I record, I edit, and I post exactly when I'm supposed to. And I am gonna also try to fit in a Twitch schedule as well, because if I feel like if I go live, even if I go live on IG, like, or I can't go live on TikTok, unfortunately. I gotta wait till 2027, apparently. I don't know why, but I have an idea. I had like a vape in a TikTok, and I guess it went against their community guidelines, which is crazy because people be smoking blunts in that bit. But I guess they just didn't want to see a bad bitch on live. I don't know. But I'm gonna figure it out. So feel free to drop comments down below. Me on IG. My podcast Instagram is the same as my YouTube. A Brutally Blunt Pod. I don't know why I like blanked on that for a second. And then my personal Instagram is Miss Brutally Blunt. So I am your host, Miss Brutally Blunt, on Instagram, and Brutally Blunt Pod on Instagram, okay? And depending on how I feel, I don't know. I hate like doing things on impulse and just out of nowhere, because I was like, maybe I'll go live on Twitch in a little bit, but I don't know. I kind of just want to smoke and play Fortnite. But yeah, so I love and I appreciate y'all. Sorry, I'm feeling myself out of nowhere. Like, damn, I look cute now and I'm about to end the video. Like, what we doing? But no, I really hope everybody is doing good. Like, I mean that wholeheartedly. And I'm so glad that I have the people I have that are supporting me and, patiently waiting for me to drop again. It means a lot. And I'm gonna have more deets on what's going on. I just feel like it's too soon to drop all the tea, you feel me? But I'm gonna get into that, all right? I feel like more comfortable doing it on Twitch, I ain't gonna lie, because I feel like on a YouTube video, like, but I got so much info, y'all don't even understand, for real. But we gonna lock in. We gonna figure it out. We gonna get into it, because I ain't gonna lie, like, I don't need to be famous or nothing, but I'm just trying to get my numbers up, for real. I'm just trying to have more of, like, a presence in other people's like lives or like social media platforms. Like, I'm just trying to make a difference, for real. I want to like add more light to this world, because there's so much darkness and chaos, and I just want to be like a level head. I don't think I got anything level headed on me. On a good day, yeah. When I'm in public at work, yeah, maybe. When I'm on the clock, never mind you. When I'm on the clock, yeah, I'm on my right mind. But I'm doing too much. Let me slow it down, okay? Let me slow it down. Clearly, I had too much sugar intake. I had an energy drink. Matter of fact, let me tell you about that real quick. So, as y'all may or may not know, my favorite energy drink is Alani's, right? They came out with cotton candy flavor, my favorite. I showed it in my last pod. I believe so, right? It's pink and it's mad cute. Right. Pink and blue, my two favorite colors. Right. Tell me why they came out with a purple cotton candy. I was so excited to try it. I saw my friends trying it. I said, how is it? They're like, oh, it's pretty good. Not so bad. So you know what? When I went to the grocery store yesterday, guess what? I got myself my cotton candy Alani and the purple cotton candy Alani, because I want to try the purple cotton candy Alani. Feel me? I drank that one today. It tastes like grape. At that point, Shorty Bay, I would just get a drink grape fucking Alani or grape soda, grape Fanta. Like, no. It, like, the purple, whatever. They should call it grape cotton candy. But the purpleness of the drink canceled out the cotton candy taste, and I don't fuck with that. I really don't, because it's the whole point of me buying it, shorty. I love cotton candy. Like, what? I'm doing too much. I might drink the cotton candy one, though. I'm finna roll myself. I was finna do it on the episode. I was finna roll myself a little joint, little blunt, little spliffy iffy, but I wanted to have, like, my undivided attention to y'all, even though I get so distracted. But nah, I just keep yapping, so I'm just gonna shut up. I love y'all. I appreciate you. I'll be back next week by the grace of God. And yeah, follow me on platforms, leave comments, questions, concerns, any ideas. Like, let me know. Like, if you like, if I gotta get a co-host on here just to throw a pie in their face, like, I'll do it. Like, I need to let some type of anger out. Like, let me know. But nah, on the other hand, I was gonna try to keep stretching it out. I probably might as well. Damn right, should I might as well just roll on it. Bit. Might as well. What time is it? It's 5:21, drops at 7, it's about to be 5:30. It takes me like an hour to edit, plus like another 30 to process it. So I don't know, Chad. I might have to end now. Be single. If they ain't feeding you, shit, even if they do both, they ain't your nigga. Like, I'm over this shit. All right, I love y'all. Bye.